I'm Vickie Eisenstein with IdeateTV, and I'm here with Lars Thorn, a creator of multiple games right here. Will you tell me about them?
Absolutely, Vickie. So I've got two game businesses. One is called Uncorked Games at uncorkedgames.com. That has three different party drinking games. The first was Read Between the Wines, which allows players to sample wine and describe the wine that they're tasting by writing funny wine descriptions. Then we had Brew HaHa, came out in 2016. This is like Cards Against Humanity meets craft beer tasting. So that's a lot of fun when you get your buds together. Whiskey Business just came out at the end of 2018. It's a party dice game where you produce barrels of whiskey, and that's a lot of fun to play, whether you drink or don't drink. And then Ice Cream Empire is my most recent one with Empire Games to teach kids to be entrepreneurs through the ice cream industry.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So the wines was your first game, is that correct?
It was. So my old girlfriend and I were in Traverse City, Michigan. Who knew that was wine country? And there was a wine tasting event where it was a pairing of wine and mac and cheese. And they had these ridiculous over-the-top descriptions. And we thought we could write better descriptions than these, and we could fool each other into thinking that ours was the real one. And that was kind of where the idea was born, was trying to fool our friends into writing these over-the-top descriptions of the wine that we were sampling. And then we were like, this sounds like a game. We wound up winning the business plan competition at Pepperdine University. Won $9,000 with that. And then people were like, you actually have to create this thing. So we're like, all right. And so we created the game. It's become Amazon's choice for wine game, just like the others have been Amazon's choice for beer game, whiskey game, and now ice cream game as well.
That's so interesting. So you basically were like, well, we did this with wine. Let's try it with other beverages.
We like coming up with punny names. So Brew HaHa was the second. Then Whiskey Business. We actually had the name before we even had the game. And so we kind of had to reverse engineer to come up with something. We wanted that risk, press your luck component with it, because I find that games that have that moment of truth where you have to decide one way or the other, that create that natural tension, is what makes for an exciting game. So that's how Whiskey Business was born. And Ice Cream Empire, my business partner, who you'll see on the box there, sitting in the ice cream truck, actually owns an ice cream shop here in the Los Angeles area called Sweet Rose Creamery. So the game is actually his experience in the ice cream industry, and then hoping to teach kids how to become entrepreneurs through the ice cream industry and through this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this one seems to be the odd man out when it comes to the theme of your games.
It is, and actually it's a totally different business. So Uncorked Games is my first business with Audra Quinn. We have 3 games with that, and then Colby Goff and I created Empire Games. This is our first, and we hope to then expand into Coffee Bean Empire and Tea Leaf Empire with a similar game dynamic, but different themes that you can play around.
So you're just really concentrating on the food and drink market here.
Well, you gotta play with what you enjoy. So sometimes you gotta play with your food. Better than a food fight. This is a great way to have a creative expression of a game and enjoy it with your friends.
That's awesome. Now, if anyone in the world, whether that be living or dead or fictional, who would you want to play which game with?
Oh, this is good. Well, still living, I think Ben and Jerry would enjoy a good round of Ice Cream Empire. I think that would be good, and you can imagine. I mean, any great writer, I think Read Between the Wines would be ideal. I'm picturing maybe Mark Twain waxing poetic about a wine that he's sampling. That would be fun. Brew HaHa, any great brew master, maybe Samuel Adams. We'd go back and play a little Brew HaHa with him. Whiskey Business, I think Jack Daniels himself would enjoy a good round of Whiskey Business. So we got some options to choose from.
Did you prepare that? You have them right there.
You just inspired me. Yeah.
So I'd also like to know, what inspired you to get into game creation?
So I've always loved playing games, mostly because it's a way to bring people together. My theme in life is to creatively cultivate community, and I find there's no better place to do that than through a game, particularly when it's a creative game that gets people to tap into their creativity and play together in a fun way like that. So my mom is German, and we grew up going to Germany playing all of these great Euro games when I was a kid, and nobody had ever heard of them in the States. So I would bring games back from Germany and teach all my neighborhood friends all these great games that they had never seen before. And then it just started inspiring me to create my own games, and it just kind of grew from there. And so now I've got 4 and hopefully many more to come.
That's awesome. So yeah, you definitely, it wasn't like you just decided to come up with like the wine game out of its own on its blue. You've been doing it for a long time then. You've got experience.
It has, yeah. It's funny, GW, where I went for graduate school, did a great article in their alumni magazine, and they were asking me, like, what was your first game that you ever created? And I told them about this game that I created with my buddy Danny Walker in the old neighborhood called Toilet Bowl Sinkers. We basically had a bouncy ball, and we realized the best place to bounce the bouncy ball was in the bathroom because of all the porcelain. It would just bounce off and ricochet like crazy. And so, so the game was you would bounce the ball into the bathroom, hoping to sink it in the toilet, but you'd get also points if you got it to land in the sink or if you got it in the bathtub and in the trash can.
You have to make sure to flush the toilet first.
Exactly. It promotes cleanliness in the home before you even begin. We literally took his little fish net for his goldfish to scoop it out, and then we would rinse it underneath the sink. Our parents always thought it was a horrible idea, but we thought it was hilarious. We'd use our dad's shaving cream to keep track of the score, and we'd like put the score on the mirror with the shaving cream. So it was a lot of fun. So that's where the game ideas began, and they've certainly evolved since then, but still a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting with us, Lars. And I've been Vickie Eisenstein with IdeateTV.